Hello, my reading friends. Welcome back to the Jane Austen Literacy Foundation community. My name is Melissa. I am the community manager, and today I have a video for you that was requested by our Instagram story followers. So I put up a poll and asked if you guys would like to see a library haul video, and it was a resounding yes. So I'm going to share to you what I grabbed at the library. Now, this was one of those trips where I had some requests that were business books, and I ended up at the library browsing, which I know probably happens to you if you visit the library as well. And I left with a stack of books that I was not expecting to have. So I thought I would share those with you. Now, these are definitely not books that I'm probably not going to get to every single one of them because there's so many other books that I want to read, but each one of them, when I picked them up, I just didn't feel like I could put it back on the shelf because I thought I might be interested in reading them. We'll see how many I get to, but I put them kind of loosely in order of time period that they're set in. You will definitely notice a theme with these for sure. Some of them you might be surprised that I haven't yet read. Let me know in the comments, as always, if you have read them and if you have any other recommendations of books that you think I should check out. I said it 1,000 times on here that I am a mood reader. So we are heading into the fall season. It feels like it's taking forever for fall to get here. I am waiting for sweater weather. It is my favorite season, and it is just not arriving fast enough for me. I keep checking the weather app, and we are still in the high 80s Fahrenheit, and it just does not want to cool off. So maybe I'm going to have to crank the air conditioning so I can put on my sweatshirts and drink a hot chocolate and feel cozy one of these nights. But yeah, without further ado, let's get going on my library haul. I was about to say little, and it's not really a little library haul, my library haul that I have. So the first book up is Jane at the Waterloo Map. Now, Stephanie Barron has a very large series of these Jane Austen mysteries, and I don't know how I missed them. I must have been sleeping under a rock somewhere, and I believe she just finished up this series, I think this year. I have a friend that read all the way through them, and yeah, I missed it. So I grabbed this one. It was the one that looked the most interesting to me and what my library had. And it says, November 1815, the Battle of Waterloo has come and gone, leaving the British economy in shreds. Henry Austen, high-flying banker, is about to declare bankruptcy, dragging several of his brothers down with him. The crisis destroys Henry's health, and Jane flies to his London bedside, believing him to be dying. While she's there, the chaplain to His Royal Highness the Prince Regent invites Jane to tour Carlton House, the prince's fabulous London home. The chaplain is a fan of Jane's books, and during the tour, he suggests she dedicates her next novel, Emma, to HRH, whom she despises. However, before she can speak to HRH, Jane stumbles upon a body sprawled on the carpet in the Regent's library. The dying man, Colonel McFarlane, was a cavalry hero and a friend of Wellington's. He utters a single failing phrase, Waterloo Map, and Jane is on the hunt for a treasure of incalculable value and a killer of considerable cunning. This sounds fantastic. It sounds like there's a lot of real life crossover to the story with Jane Austen, and I'm really excited for a cozy night of reading this book. And if there's anything more vulnerable than reading book blurbs, I don't know what else, because it instantly makes you conscious of every word you're saying. So please give me grace if I trip over the words as I am reading them. We are all reading together, and it's an experience for sure. So the next book that I have is Angelica Frankenstein Makes Her Match. And this was one of those books that was on the little side rack with the staff suggestions. As I was already checking out, I had everything else set to go. And then this book was sitting there, and it just grabbed me, and I thought, I really need to grab that one too. So this is unique. It says, for generations, every Frankenstein has found his or her true love and equal, unlocking lifetimes of blissful wedded adventure. But clever, pretty, and slightly odd Angelica Frankenstein has run out of suitors, and she fears she may become the exception to this family rule. As she assists her brother Victor in his groundbreaking experiment to bring a reassembled man back to life, she embarks on a side project that is all her own. When Angelica's handsome scientific miracle wakes up on the operating table, her wishes for an instant romantic connection are dashed. Her resurrected beau, named Will for the moment, has total amnesia and is solely focused on uncovering his true identity. Trying to ignore their heart pounding chemistry, Angelica reluctantly joins the investigation into his past, hoping it will bring them closer. But perhaps fate is not something that can be created in a laboratory. Or is Will, or whoever he is, her dream man, tailored for her in every way? And can he survive what was done to him in the name of science and love? Filled with carriages, candlesticks, and corpses, Angelica's Frankenstein makes their match as the spooky season reimagining of the well-known classic by Mary Shelley that reminds us to never judge a man by his cadaver. This one sounds fantastic. I really want to get to this one. I hope it lives up to my expectations because I just think it sounds like the perfect fall read, and I'm excited to read it. I'm going to say that about every single book here because obviously I picked them for a reason. I am excited to read them. All right, next in the books that I grabbed from the library is Shadows of Swanford Abbey by Julie Clausen, I believe is how you pronounce her last name. And I think that she is an author who has proven herself over the years to have some amazing reads. I have never been disappointed by any of her books. So I knew she had a few different Gothic stories out there, and I went to see what my library still had on their shelf, and this was the only one that they had. So it's described as Agatha Christie meets Jane Austen in an atmospheric Regency tale brimming with mystery, intrigue, and romance. And it is everything that I could want in a book. It says, when Miss Rebecca Lang returns to her home village after a few years away, her brother begs for a favor. Go to nearby Swanford Abbey and deliver his manuscript to an author staying there who could help him get published. Feeling responsible for her brother's desperate state, she reluctantly agrees. The medieval monastery turned grand hotel is rumored to be haunted. Once there, Rebecca begins noticing strange things, including a figure in a hooded black gown gliding silently through the abbey's cloister. For all its renovations and veneer of luxury, the ancient foundations seem to echo with whispers of the past, including her own. For there she encounters Sir Frederick, magistrate, widower, and former neighbor, who long ago broke her heart. When the famous author is found murdered in the abbey, Sir Frederick begins questioning staff and guests and quickly discovers that several people held grudges against the man, including Miss Lane and her brother. Haunted by a painful betrayal in his past, Sir Frederick searches for answers, but is torn between his growing feelings for Rebecca and his pursuit of the truth. For Miss Lane is clearly hiding something. Oh, this one on a weekend when it is raining and cold with a cup of tea will just be perfect. All right, the next one is also a very famous author who has some really long series, and I have never read any of her books. So that is Tasha Alexander. And then after I checked this out and got back home and I was checking my shelf, I realized that I actually over here have a oops, books are falling on me. I have a Tasha Alexander book that I just grabbed at a used book sale, I think over the last few months. So I do have another one left to read after this one if I like it. I'm not sure if this is, so this one, as you can see, says a Lady Emily mystery. Let's see, was this one also Lady Emily? Yes, so this is also Lady Emily mystery. It just doesn't seem like they're not numbered. If anybody knows the series, if you could let me know. I'm sure I am totally guilty of reading series out of order. It doesn't bother me. I do it all the time. I know that's horrible. Let me know how you feel about reading series. Does it have to be read in order? Are you totally fine with mixing it up and reading at whatever random order the books come to you? Anyways, A Fatal Waltz, it says, mystery, romance, and intrigue combine in this spectacular novel of historical suspense, featuring the endlessly captivating and thoroughly entertaining Emily Lady Ashton. At her friend Emily's behest, Emily reluctantly agrees to attend a party at the sprawling English country estate of Lord Fortescue. a man she finds as odious as he is powerful. But if Emily is expecting Lord Fortescue to be the greatest of her problems, she is wrong. Her host has also invited Christiana von Lang, an Austrian countess who was once linked romantically with Emily's fiance, the debonair Colin Hargreaves. What Emily believes will be a tedious evening turns deadly when Fortescue is found murdered and his protege, Robert Brandon's Ivy's husband, is arrested for the crime. Determined to right this wrong and clear Robert's name, Emily begins to dig for answers, a quest that will lead her from London's glittering ballrooms to Vienna's sordid back streets. Not until she engages a notorious anarchist in a game of wits does the shocking truth begin to emerge. The price of exonerating Robert can be paid only by placing Colin in deadly peril. To save her fiancé, Emily must do the unthinkable, bargain with her nemesis, the Countess von Lang. This one gives me the feels of like a Hollywood murder mystery set in like the 1940s or something, but I think this is going to be a lot of fun to read. On the back here, it says, had Jane Austen written the Da Vinci Code, she may have come up with this elegant novel. That sounds like a description that has hooked me for sure. All right, we are going to pivot a little bit from all the mysteries, and next up I have The Spy Mistress. This was the book that I had on hold, one of the books that I had on hold that I had to go pick up, and this you are possibly going to see popping up in next year's book club if you are a part of our community. I'll have all the links down below. Go check it out. This one is described as a story of heroism. It is based on a true story. And that is one of the things that we really love to do in our book club for the community is read stories that inspire. That is our theme. And whether it's fiction or nonfiction or historical fiction is what we love to read. We really love stories that in some way touch your life. You feel inspired to be more, to do more. That is the overarching thread of the books that we enjoy reading. So this one says, The Spy Mistress is a story of heroism, patriotism, and bravery, featuring Elizabeth Van Lew, a woman who risked everything by caring for Union prisoners of war and stealing Confederate secrets. So the actual blurb is, born to slaveholding aristocracy in Richmond, Virginia, and educated by Northern Quakers, Elizabeth Van Lew was a paradox of her time. When her native state seceded in April 1861, Van Lew's convictions compelled her to defy the new Confederate regime. Pledging her loyalty to the Lincoln White House, her courage in clandestine combat would never waver, even as her actions threatened not only her reputation, but also her life. Van Lew's skills in gathering military intelligence were unparalleled in ingenuity. Even as the deprivations of war broke the bonds of polite society, she evaded detection, repurposing common household items to conceal coded information critical to the Union campaigns, and enlisting unlikely messengers, enslaved, incarcerated, and free, under the guise of humanitarian aid. Her efforts helped to construct the Richmond Underground and orchestrated escapes from the infamous Confederate Libby prison. The reach of her spying was vast, from clerks in the Confederate War and Navy departments to the very home of Confederate President Jefferson Davis. Although celebrated by Northern leaders as a true Union woman, as true as steel, and posthumously inducted into the Military Intelligence Hall of Fame, the astonishing scope of Elizabeth Van Lew's achievements has never been widely known. And then it goes on to say that she brings to life in a tale of high stakes, a great heroine of the Civil War. And these are the stories that I absolutely love, of someone that we didn't learn about in school, that we don't see frequently talked about in history videos. I love to see their stories being highlighted. The next book is one of those covers that I feel like is so iconic. When I see this, it really makes me wonder, what in the world is this book about? This was a winner of the Pulitzer Prize, and I have seen this cover popping up in a few places, and when I saw it sitting there on the shelf, I was like, I need to check this one out. So this one is set post-Civil War. It says in 1874, in the wake of the war, trauma and nameless haunt civilians and veterans Renegades and wanderers, freedmen and runaways, 12-year-old Connolly, the adult in her family for as long as she can remember, finds herself on a buckboard journey with her mother Eliza, who hasn't spoken in more than a year. They arrive at the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in West Virginia, delivered to the hospital's entrance by a war veteran who has forced himself into their world. There, far from family, a beloved neighbor, and the mountain home they knew, they tried to reclaim their lives. The omnipresent vagaries of war and race rise to the surface as we learn their story, their flight to the highest mountain ridges of Western Virginia, the disappearance of Connolly's father, who left for the war and never returned. Meanwhile, in the asylum, they begin to find a new path. Connolly pretends to be her mother's maid. Eliza responds slowly to treatment. They get swept up in the life of the facility, the mysterious man they called the Night Watch, the orphan child called Weed, the fearsome woman who runs the kitchen, the remarkable doctor at the head of the institution. Epic, enthralling, and meticulously crafted, third in a trilogy of war novels that include Machine Dreams and Lark and Termite, Jane Ann Phillips's Night Watch is a brilliant portrait of family endurance against all odds and a stunning chronicle of surviving war and its aftermath. And I am just really this book. I don't know what to expect from it. And if anybody has read it, please let me know what you think of it in the comments. You don't have to give me like a huge spoiler review, but just tell me like, did you enjoy it? What are your thoughts? Yeah, really, really excited for this one. And last book in the library haul is On the Cliffs of Foxglove Manor. This is one of those books. Tell me if this happens to you. I'll see something and I'm like, oh, that looks good. Maybe I'll check it out. And then when I see if it's set somewhere that I have previously lived, it's like I feel an instant connection to the book and then I feel like I have to read it. And this one, I saw that it was set on the Great Lakes, and I am a Michigan girl, born and bred, and so it just really appealed to me to check this one out. And if you haven't been able to tell the theme by now, I'm going for mystery, gothic, fall vibes, obviously, is the theme of the season. So this one says, in 1885, Adriana Fontaine has been sent away from her home to recover goods her malevolent father pirated on the Great Lakes during the Civil War. Hoping to find freedom away from her father, Adriana arrives at Foxglove Manor, a stone house on a cliff overlooking Lake Superior, but senses only wickedness hovering over the property. The mistress of Foxglove is an eccentric and seemingly cruel old woman who has filled her house with dangerous secrets, ones that may cost Adriana her life. Centuries later, Kaylee Gibson takes on a position as a nurse's aide at a senior home in a renovated old stone manor. Abducted as a child, she has nothing but locked up memories of secrets and death, overshadowed by the chilling threat from her kidnappers that they may return. When the residents of Foxglove start sharing stories of whispers in the night, hidden treasure, and a love willing to kill, it becomes clear this home is far from a haven. As the sinister mystery of Foxglove Manor haunts two women separated by time, they will have to risk it all to banish the past's demons, including their own. And this one definitely seems a little bit on the spooky side, and the only reason that I did decide to go with it is because it's published by Bethany House, who typically does like more inspirational books, so I figured it wasn't going to be too keep me up at night, sort of suspense thrillery. And the blurb and the cover just really sold me on this, so it made it into my library books haul. And that is it. That is everything that I grabbed from the library this week. Sometimes I grab things just because I'm sort of curious about them, but I have to say I'm really excited about this haul, and I truly do hope that I get to everything that I grabbed this time. I know it is a ambitious library haul, but I have a good feeling about it. So if there are any of the books that you are interested in reading, let me know. Let me know what's top on your reading list for whatever season is where you are at. And I will see you in the next video. Take care and happy reading. Bye.